it is.
Yeah, that's a good point. So yeah, I've just started recording. Is that okay with everyone if I record this?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Yeah, fine, no problem.
Great stuff. Okay, so we'll get started. So yeah, welcome everybody. The purpose of this session really is just to check in, see how you're feeling, and discuss whatever's coming up for you at the minute around the pandemic or life in general, whether your mental health is or your mood is up and down, whatever's going on really. And we'll do a meditation at the end. So yeah, feel free. It's kind of open forum, question and answers, just talking, just listening, whatever you want to bring really. So yeah, so I'll kick off.
You kick off.
So I'm feeling pretty settled. I had my weekly session with my psychotherapist this morning. As I'm training to be a psychotherapist, I have to be in personal therapy myself. And I was saying, I have this kind of image of a frozen lake, and I imagined myself kind of crossing this frozen lake, and the ice at the minute is pretty thick, so it feels very stable, but just a little bit slippery, if you know what I mean. And occasionally, you know, yesterday I had a bit of a dip, and I was feeling the ice was perhaps a bit thinner, and I might fall through into some cold waters, and the challenges there, I suppose, a bit of negative thinking, a little bit of anxiety, but feeling much better again today. But just aware that it is a kind of, it's new terrain. It's this slippery, slightly unsteady footing. But yeah, generally feeling pretty solid. I'm just trying to be mindful that this is new for all of us. It is, there is a bit of fear there for me, and generally I'm just kind of managing it pretty well and enjoying most aspects of what's going on. You know, it's just so peaceful hearing birdsong and so little traffic and people saying hello to each other, just really enjoying that aspect of it. And yeah, some of me would quite like this to go on for quite a long time, actually. The longer it goes on, the more chance there is of there being a lasting shift in our behaviour as humans, and consciousness and connectedness, and just this lovely sense of humanity and kindness and compassion that I'm picking up from a lot of people. So yeah, that's me.
Yeah, I'm glad you're feeling that, Paul. I've been like that this week, more so than anything else. But it's mostly looking back on the last few weeks, because I'm still working, as you know. Well, this week I'm not. But looking back on the last few weeks, I've realised how much fear I've been living in, because of working in a packing room where we're all still working quite close together, and some people are still very, very unaware. Hopefully next week I'm hoping people are going to be a bit more aware, but there's some members of our packing staff that really are still unaware of what's going on and what they need to be doing. They're still all chatting in small groups, hugging each other, touching each other, and that's been quite difficult. But I got put into a different area, so that's been a bit better. But yeah, I don't think I've realised how much fear I've been living with until this week, when I've been out listening to the birds. I've been out running again. The sun's been lovely. So yeah, I'm aware that when I go back to work, I need to get that balance again a bit more, because I am up at 4:30 and not getting in till 5 o'clock. But I need to make sure I get out for a walk on a night. I've been going out for a walk on a morning before work at 4:30 before even the street lights are on, which is quite bizarre, but it means I've been getting out for some fresh air. But I need to make sure I get out on the night as well. So yeah, I've been a bit trying to keep balanced, which is my whole life really now.
Yeah, it's all about balance. So it sounds like you kind of got in touch with that fear? You're more acknowledging how much fear was there, whereas perhaps maybe you weren't conscious of it before?
I was conscious of it when I went in the packing room and when I went in the canteen because it was right in my face. But luckily, I spoke to somebody and I got put into the production area where there is less people and we're more aware. And last week on Friday, before I left, they came and they were measuring up for screens, for plastic screens to put between us. As I've been working face to face with somebody within a metre of me for the last 3 weeks. So yeah, I've been quite aware, but I've had a mask on. When everybody else was like, oh, you don't need a mask, you don't need a mask, I was like, when I'm face to face with somebody so close together, I need a mask.
Mm.
So yeah, I'm going to be a different person that goes back, hopefully.
Mm.
I keep saying to myself I need to go back to just normal hours, but I don't know. I feel the pressure to do the hours that everybody else is doing still.
Mm. Do you think, is that pressure coming from yourself, or is it the management that are kind of?
I think it's coming more from myself this time. It has come from management before, but I feel like we just all need to pull together as a team in a time like this, really.
Mm. Yeah, I suppose it's that difficult balance again, isn't it, around fulfilling your duties and doing what you can to help,
Yeah.
but also having that healthy boundary around doing what you need, because you're doing long days, aren't you? And you know, I know a lot of NHS staff and other key workers, people who work in supermarkets, working really long hours, and it is that choice. Some people don't have the choice, but if you've got the choice, it's weighing up that balance between.
Yeah, and I think that's why this time, because I have been doing long hours since about January again, bizarrely. And I did it for about 4 weeks and realised that I'd gone really unstable again at one point, so I stopped doing it for a couple of weeks. I was aware and I stopped, which I haven't been aware before in the past. And this time when I started again, I've been getting up half an hour earlier and going for a walk and meditating, I wasn't doing that before. I was getting up at 5 and going straight out. So I'm trying a different way this time. So, and I think after this week's holiday, I'm going to try and do that and get out on a night for a walk and go and listen to the birds. And because it is deserted everywhere and it's amazing, really. It's lovely.
Lifetime opportunity to see what it was like in 1955, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been going out running and hugging trees this week, which has been great. I really, really enjoyed doing that. I haven't done that for ages.
Great. Okay, so thanks for sharing that, Hayley.
Okay.
Yeah, hopefully you can feel a bit safer at work. The other people get a bit more aware, and
yeah.
if you need to change anything around your own boundaries, talking to the management or changing your hours, then you can. You've got the power to do that.
That's it. I'm aware now, and I feel brave enough to do that now. So I'm a different person to the one that I was before. So, yeah.
Thank you, Hayley.
How's everybody else feeling?
I feel really good. I'm surprised, Hayley, about your work, kind of not really like listening to the needs and kind of like putting those things in place that the government have kind of like set out, or you know, this is how we should be operating.
They're just starting to. But they only got masks in when I asked for a mask, so they're just I think they're becoming more aware as well now.
But it's a case of, I mean, your health and, you know, the health and well-being of the staff. You know, if the staff aren't well, then, you know, that they're not going to be able to operate. You know, if everybody goes down with the illness, then
yeah, that's it. The factory's not going to be open anyway.
No.
Yeah.
But as well, it's a case of they're putting you in a position where you've got to choose between your job and your own kind of like health and well-being, rather than putting you as a priority.
I think there's probably a lot of companies all over the country that are exactly the same. Just a lot of people aren't really saying anything about it.
Yeah, but you've been courageous and said that you're not accepting that behaviour.
Yeah, that's it. A lot of people have, and some people have self-isolated, but I think the problem is when you're a key worker, you're still expected to go to work, and if you don't go to work, all you get is SSP.
Mm.
But
Yeah.
if like, say if I'd worked in a pub, I'd be on 80% wages when I was at home.
Mm.
So that's been quite frustrating, but I've managed to get my head around that as well now. I try not to get too angry about that when people are complaining they're only on 80% of the wages now at home.
Mm.
It's bringing up that 5 stages of grief. I don't know if any of you saw the session I did a couple of days ago, I think it was, and I was talking about Elizabeth Kubler-Ross. Have you heard of on what's that book called? On Grief and Grieving. It's probably the go-to book about grieving, and she talks about these 5 stages of grief, which is a model that I think she developed in the 60s, and it's still kind of the model that's used today. And the first stage is denial. So if we think about this current pandemic crisis, we can grieve. There's a lot of grieving going on because of the things that we've lost. Some of us lost our jobs, we've lost our freedom to go out and do what we want to do. We've lost connection with our loved ones, and yeah, some people are isolating, they can't touch or see anybody. So the sense of a loss there. And the first stage of grief is denial. It's like, no, this is not happening. It's not serious. You know, this person isn't gone forever. And for you, Hayley, it sounds like there's a bit of that going on at your work around, oh no, we don't need this, we don't need separation, we're all mucking in together 1 metre apart, it's okay kind of thing, this kind of bulletproof attitude. And then the next stage from that is anger. So that's the kind of reaction of, why on earth is this happening? Why are people not following the rules? Why are these teenagers walking 5 abreast on the pavement and going out and playing football with each other and not staying 2 metres apart from me? And anger at the world. Why is this virus here? Is this Mother Nature telling us to kick up the bum? Is this a conspiracy theory? Is it someone who's, I don't know. So yeah, a lot of anger can come out of it, and then comes the bargaining of, oh, I'll change my life if this virus can just go away and none of my loved ones get it. And then comes depression, when we kind of start to let the grief in more, and finally comes acceptance, hopefully, where we can come to a place of accepting that this is the situation and be at peace with it, not saying it's fine, it's okay, but just accepting that this is how things are. So yeah, maybe you're kind of going through that process in microcosm in your work there, Hayley, and also in your personal.
Yeah, a little bit. It's, I mean, today I sent the HR lady sort of a message of, I'm grateful for everything that you're doing, because a lot of us didn't realise that she's actually been separated from her little boy. Her little boy is staying with his dad now because she's having to come to work. So she's quite an anxious, depressive kind of person as well anyway. And I'm sure that she's been getting millions of angry messages from people at work. So I've sort of reached out and I've actually invited her to this group. I don't know but she's at work at the moment. So, but yeah, it's remembering that there's not just you in all of this. There's other people that are involved. She's doing the best she can, because it's like she explained to me, if we don't get the orders out, the supermarkets will just go somewhere else, and then there'll be no factory this time next year anyway, whichever way they go with it.
But it's nice that you've expressed that gratitude to the HR person, because I think this is, again, every day is an opportunity to express appreciation and gratitude, but quite often we don't. We just take stuff for granted. So I think it's really beautiful to be able to acknowledge all of the people who are working in factories, NHS, supermarkets, people that are keeping the power on, keeping the water running.
You don't realise how many people there is until you start thinking about, oh yeah, they're needed for that and they're needed for that.
Yeah. And this phrase, I like this phrase, key workers, and it really is putting the emphasis on the people that we can't do without. And, when we've had previous what we've deemed to be crises in this country, like the dot-com bubble and all these, stock market crashes and all that type of stuff. And people go, oh my goodness, stock market's crashing. But actually, all these companies, banks that closed down, investment people who lost a lot of money, nothing really affected us on a day-to-day basis. Okay, we might have lost a bit of money on our pensions, but we're now really focusing on what the key workers are, the really key things in society, which is health, well-being, connection, relationships, getting food on the table. And it's the unsung heroes, isn't it, that are now being elevated to actually, we need to really be grateful for these people.
And that includes people like you, Paul. For health and well-being.
Well, yeah, I think
it really does.
Thank you. Yeah, I think it is another great opportunity for things like mental health, holistic well-being, counselling, psychotherapy, all of that stuff to come to the fore, because people are realising how important it is. And
I'm trying to encourage more people to sort of tap into that part of themselves, rather than just saying, oh well, I might as well just sit at home and have a drink then if I'm not at work. Because you can go one way or the other, especially with the sun shining outside.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, so there might be some numbing going on with substances and stuff, but if the only positive thing to come out of this is that people are more aware of their well-being, mental health included, and they seek out counselling or just speak up for support, then that'll be a really positive thing, I think. Helen, did you want to say any more or check in or anything?
Yeah, it is a time for us to kind of like just really become more aware of ourselves. And also, like Hayley was saying, she appreciated what was going on for a boss, and sometimes when we're really, really busy, we don't realise what's going on for other people, so we can judge other people, but we haven't got a clue, what struggles they're going through. And like you were saying, we all play a part in society, and it's a case of, it's like a machine. If one bit's not working properly, it affects all of it, and it's a case of, we're realising that, the people that maybe, have been looked down on in the past for not playing a part or not playing such a great part are actually, they're the people that are keeping the country going at the moment. So we are all important, and we've all got these feelings that are going on inside us, and I think as well, kind of like now, these feelings, maybe if we are working or maybe not working as long or are overworking, they're coming up with those feelings, and sometimes we're reacting to feelings that actually aren't our feelings. They've been generated by somebody else, and they're in response to somebody else's feelings. But yeah, it's definitely an interesting time that we're going through at the moment. And I'm kind of like becoming more aware of like what's going on for me. And you were talking about the stages of grief, and you don't necessarily go through those stages in a linear process. There can be quite a bit of backwards and forwards. So you might come to accept something, but then you might be denying something else. So you're moving around those 5 stages of grief.
Yeah, that's a good point, Helen. Yeah, it can be. It doesn't have to go through in that order.
No.
It can be a cycle as well. Go through all 5, reach acceptance, and then actually go through it all again. I'm finding a little bit. I felt like I went through the 5 stages in the space of about 24 hours, 3 weeks ago. But since then, I've had kind of moments of feeling a little bit angry at that person. I'm feeling a little bit in denial about this or whatever. So it can be an ongoing process. Thank you, Helen. Rachel, you've been very patient as training coming to the fore, I'm sure there.
Patience is a virtue.
things
Yeah,
with you?
I'm doing really good. I'm meditating every day. I'm doing my obviously I can't go to uni anymore, so I'm doing it online and studying and reading a lot in the sun. I'm out walking or running every day with my daughter or on my own, because I live in Derbyshire, so the hills are literally there. So it's really good. I think because I do meditation, and I'm quite a mindful person anyway, so I do look on things with gratitude, and I think because at my point in my life with my experiences that I've gone through, I've done a lot of self-reflection, and I'm quite comfortable in life every day, how it goes. I think I've got a lot of friends who've really struggled with change, because it's such a dramatic change from the routine of going to work, the kids go to school, to all of a sudden they're all together in the house. It's such a massive fundamental change with these constraints on them, and I have had some reaching out to me just to help with how can I stop feeling anxious, and I've kind of directed them to do some meditation, and to keep calm, and to try and use your breath, etc., or music, or candles, or going for a walk, or sitting in a bath, or and they've said it's helpful. They just wish they could just be face to face with people. As human beings, we miss the connection, don't we? I mean, thank goodness for Wi-Fi and Skype and Zoom and all these new things that I've never used before, but I use them all the time now. I've never realised there's so much way of connecting virtually. So I'm doing pretty good. I'm relishing the time with my daughter, I have to say. That's quite lovely to have her with me 60% of the week. The rest of the time she's with her father, and it's really good. And if anything, my only sort of anxiety is around her well-being. I think at 12, nearly 13, she's really felt it. She was fine at first. It was like, great, no school, and then it's like, no friends, no running to the park, no, nothing. It's all, I can talk to them on the phone. So and anxiety, because we've been through major things in the world with conflicts and things, and it's the first thing that kind of age group have experienced on such a global scale. So it's talk, we have a really good relationship, and it's helping understand that it is a situation, it's temporary, things will get better. There's reasons why we're doing what we're doing it to help the key workers, we're doing it to help the NHS, and we're doing it to make a difference, so that in the long term, hopefully, I'm sure they'll find a vaccine and or something, and they'll sort it out. So I'm quite positive about it. But kids are amazing though. They really are resilient. A lot of them, they really are. It's amazing how they just get on with it, and swap playing with friends for like, oh, look at all the birds and the pigeons and the horses and the all that kind of thing. It's like, yeah, this is the wonderful world we live in, and we're aware of it. Us holistic, like mindful souls are already in tune with how wonderful it is. And I, like you said, Paul, there are some things I think, the sky's so blue, there's hardly any planes, everything's clean, everyone's saying, oh, isn't wildlife great, aren't trees beautiful? It's like, yeah, we knew this 3 years ago. So yeah,
welcome to our world.
Yeah, welcome to the real world. This is the world we live in. But it is. There's difficult moments, and there's, you have your concerns and think, well, I hope people are going to be okay, and I hope that it's not too bad. But generally on a day-to-day basis, it's just, I'm grateful it's spring and not the middle of winter.
Yeah.
Makes a difference. Yeah.
Sorry, can I ask how much everybody's watching the news? Because I'm not watching it at all. I'm just interested to know whether I think I'm maybe catching the 5 o'clock update, but really they're not updating as much at all now, are they? So I'm not even watching that.
No, not a lot. I mean, I'd like watch an update, and if anything comes on, Twitter or something, I think, oh, right, okay. But I'm not like watching the news, going on social media constantly, because I'm thinking that's no good for anyone's well-being. I'd
exactly.
outside in the garden, or going for a walk, or baking a cake, or making a curry, or
Yeah, likewise. I mean, I don't watch the news anyway.
No, I don't.
What
I
I do,
haven't since we went to Majumaka, and I
oh,
had a week off from TV. I've not watched the news since then.
great. So how have you found that that's changed your mental health, or in other ways? What's been the impact?
Yeah, very much so. Yeah.
So what, less anxiety or?
Yeah, less anxiety and just concentrating on what's important. And I can't stand to watch Donald Trump. I just can't stand him.
Yeah. So for me, it's about letting go of what we can't control, and I suppose
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
for those who are into CBT and mindfulness. It is just about I can't do anything about any of this stuff on the news. So all I do is I check the headlines in the morning, check the headlines in the evening, just so that I know, is there any new advice or guidance, really?
Yeah.
And I am curious. I'm quite a numbers person, so I quite like seeing how it's developing, how many cases, how many deaths. So, are the measures we're putting in place having an effect or not? But yeah, I really minimise my news consumption, and what I do consume, I try to curate very carefully, because I know 99.9% of it I can do nothing about. So it's not going to help me to know that much.
And really, they're only telling us what they want to tell us.
Yes.
Which says it all as well, really. Even the figures and the numbers, they're not really reporting it all, are they?
No. And this brings us back to what is news? Who decides what news is?
Yeah.
And we've got a guest coming in to the Thrive Hive on, what day is it? Thursday.
That's another thing we've been off work, isn't it?
Yeah. What day is it? Next
Wednesday.
Thursday, a week tomorrow.
Yeah.
Shirish is a research journalist, and he looks into storytelling in the news and what's wrong in the way it's presented now. It's just crisis, another crisis, breaking news, and we don't get that story of this is what has happened, this is how it started, this is how it's developed, and this is the resolution, and exploring it in a story way, which is what we connect to as humans. From fairy tales onwards, we read fiction, don't we, when we're older. We like a story, but that's not how the news works. It's just, bam, here's some bad news, move on, here's some more bad news.
Yeah.
What we deem to be worthy of you consuming. So yeah, it's going to be a really interesting chat with him. But Rachel, I like what you said about your daughter there, and it is an interesting point about youngsters, because I would guess for most children, this is the first time they've had to deal with some kind of really present crisis that is genuinely impacting their lives. So, but I also agree with what you say about resilience. Children are incredibly resilient, and they adapt so well and so quickly. And I think what we can do to facilitate that as adults, as parents, teachers, counsellors, whatever we are, is just to model and to talk, to be calm, to be mindful, and just to explain stuff honestly and openly, in child-friendly terms, and just explore stuff with them, get them to speak about their emotions, validate their emotions. So I imagine you are doing that very well as a mother and as a counsellor.
Trainee counsellor. Meditation teacher, trainee counsellor, well-being guru, baker extraordinaire. Yeah, I think it's funny as well, because I think there are some families who are struggling being families together all the time with 2 or 3 children, because I see on some of the local things, they're just like, I don't know what to do, and the kids are arguing, and yes, they will argue because they're together all the time, and I don't know what to do, I don't know how to play with them, and I think it's a real wake-up call for families. It's a real wake-up call for humans, I think, I do. And I'm not saying it in any weird way, but I just think it's making people realise what really is important, and it's not some famous woman with Louboutin shoes. It's actually people who keep us going as a planet.
Yeah, totally agree. We can learn so much from this. So much.
I hope we do. I really, really hope we do. I hope
Yeah, I do.
very different after this, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, we will be different after this because we've experienced a different way of being. We've had to. So it can't go back to how it was before because we've got like some new information and we've changed. We've had to change.
Yeah, yeah, I think so.
I really hope you're right. I agree with you that there's definitely the potential for that. And I suppose it's a case of opportunity meeting readiness. So we've been given an opportunity here to reassess the way we are and how we want to be as human beings and what is important. So that opportunity is there, and it's just a case of, as individuals, are we ready to embrace that? And I think, you know, the guys here in this room, a lot of people in the Thrive Hive generally are ready to embrace it. They're curious, they're into holistic well-being, mental health and personal growth already. But there will be some people who aren't ready to embrace that, and they just want to get back to how things were and speed up their life again and start into the consumerist thing and working as hard as they possibly can. So I don't think it's a magic wand. I don't think everyone will magically transform, but hopefully there'll be enough people who get on the bandwagon and it tips the balance so that there is a lasting shift. So yeah, there's hope for that, definitely.
But everybody's experienced a different way of being and living through this. You know, even the key workers that are still working, you know, they're having to work a lot harder from the sounds of things and do a lot more than what they've done previously. So, you know, and then a lot of people have had like a different way of working that perhaps they'd not experienced previously.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know whether everyone is seeing the benefits of it. There might be a lot of people who don't like this at all. They don't like the slow pace of life. They don't like
I think extroverts are struggling with it.
Yeah, I imagine so. Yeah, a lot of people
There's a lot
in their families, because they're inside all the time together 24/7. They might be having a lot of difficulties with that and maybe can't wait to go back out to work. So who knows? So what else is going on? Is there any concerns that you've got? Any other things that you've noticed that might be useful for the group to hear about?
I can't think of anything else. There probably is. I'll probably think of loads once I've gone.
You can come back another time.
Yeah. Now that I've got over my fear.
Yeah, well done.
The idea of doing our talk is growing on me. It's getting there.
Yeah,
At
good.
the end of the week, I might have done it.
There's a slot with your name on it there, Hayley.
Right, okay.
Ready. And yeah, also Rachel and Helen, if you want to come on and do a guest slot to talk about mindfulness teaching, counselling, whatever it is, if there's anything you feel you can bring, or if you just want to have a chat about your experience, then we can do that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. So shall we do a meditation?
Yes.
That would be lovely. Thank you.
Okay, well, I'm happy to lead it, but if anyone else, Rachel, you're a qualified meditation teacher. If you want to lead it, you're very welcome. I know I'm putting you on the spot here with no preparation.
No, you're fine, Paul. I'll let you lead this one. I'll maybe lead the next one.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, okie doke. All right, well, how's about we try something a bit different? How about we try a standing up meditation? You ever done a standing meditation before?
I'm sat under the stairs, but yeah, I'm sure I can move myself.
I'm here.
Right, okay.
Okay, so anyone done a standing meditation before?
No.
I haven't. I've done a slow walking meditation, but never an actual standing one.
Okay. Have you done one standing up before?
No.
No? Maybe she
Can't remember. Might have done. Not sure.
Okay, right. Okay. I'll try and position myself so that I'm visible to the camera as well. Tilt that a bit. There we go. Okay. All right, so just trying to find a comfortable position with your feet hip width apart. And try and remain upright and alert, but relaxed as well. So if you're aware of any tension, try and dissipate that. Feel free to give yourself a bit of a shakedown if you need to shake your shoulders off, shake your arms, shake your legs. And when you're ready, just let your eyes gently close. And take a deep breath into your core. Feel it go all the way down to your belly. Feel your stomach expand. Maybe put your hands over your stomach. Feel it expand as you breathe in deeply. And relax as you breathe out. Now just let your hands drop down at your sides. Make sure your shoulders are relaxed. And we'll do a body scan starting at the top of the head. Just notice your scalp. Notice any sensations there. You might feel some tingling, some pulsing maybe. And scan down the sides of your head. Notice your ears. What can you feel there? And notice your forehead. If there's any tension there, just try and relax, let it go. Breathe into your forehead area. Maybe you can relax still further. Now notice your eyes. Try and relax the corners of your eyes, eyelids, your eyebrows. And again, if you can still feel any tension, maybe at the corners, try and relax still further. Now notice your cheeks. And your nose. Can you notice any differences in temperature? Now notice your mouth. And try and really relax your tongue. Let it fill your bottom palate. See if you can relax your tongue all the way to its root. Can you notice your gums? Do you have an awareness of your teeth? Notice your jaw and relax there if there's any tension that you're holding in your jaw. Now notice your throat and your neck. If you can tune into the inside of your throat. Maybe you can notice the air passing through your airways as you breathe in and out. Now focus on your shoulders. And again, you might find that there's still some tension there, so if you can relax further, dropping your shoulders as much as you can. And then track down your arms and notice any sensations, any pulsing that you might feel, all the way down to the tips of your fingers. See if you can notice each finger and thumb individually. Now return to your shoulder blades and track down the back of your spine. See if you can visualize what's going on in your spine all the way from the top down to your tailbone. And see if you can locate your core, your center, a point of balance. Balance from the top to the bottom of your body, and also width-wise, there's the center, the width of your body, and also the depth, so from the front to the back of your body. To a point you can focus on that you feel is your center of your being. Really focus on that spot. Maybe you can think of that spot as your balance center, not just for your physical body, but also central point that you can return to regulate your emotions, your spiritual well-being as well. A solid, authentic core of who you are. And what does that look like? Does it have a colour? Does it have a temperature? Does it have a sound, an image? So just commit that to memory as you track down further through your buttocks, your upper thighs, down towards your knees. See what you can feel going on in your knees. Down the backs of your calves, to your ankles, your heel, soles of your feet. And then see if you can isolate each of your individual toes and feel something in each of your toes. And then track over the top of your feet, back to your ankles, up your shins, front of your knees, front of your calves, your reproductive organs, your digestive system, and your stomach. What's going on in that belly? Are there any feelings there, any sensations, any emotions you might feel are being held in your stomach area? And then track up further towards your chest, your heart center. Can you feel around your heart center? Any warmth? Any images? Any sensations? And then track up front of your neck, your throat, back to your chin, cheekbones, your temples, eyes, eyebrows, forehead, and back to the top of your head again. And as you focus on the top of your head, I invite you to visualize a beam of pure white light entering the top of your head. It's a peaceful light energy. See if you can track that down as it courses through your body, down your arms, down your spine, through your core, down your legs, all the way to your feet. When it reaches your feet, I invite you to visualize it entering the earth like grounding roots of a tree. So you're connected to the earth, as these roots go deep into the earth. And you're also connected from above, as that light floods into you. Maybe you can sense it bringing you some warmth and some love and some peacefulness. And whatever energy you need to navigate the rest of the day and the rest of the week. And take a deep breath into that, all the way into your core. And as you exhale, feel your body relax. As you inhale, feel that energy all around your body. And just take 2 or 3 more deep breaths. And then put your attention on your feet as they are in contact with the ground, feeling the support of that ground. Start to bring yourself back into your environment. Notice what you can hear, what you can feel. Be aware of the lights coming in through your eyelids. Start to give your fingers and toes a wiggle. When you're ready, have a bit of a stretch. And when you feel comfortable, slowly open your eyes.
Thank you.
Thank you, that was lovely.
Thank you, that was lovely.
Glad you enjoyed it. So, anything you can share from that? Any images maybe that you had of that? What you found in your centre, or anything else from that experience? No obligation.
My tummy was rumbling. It's saying it's hungry. It's ready for lunch. It needs to be fed.
I'm doing nothing but eat at the moment.
Yeah.
Eat and eat and eat and eat.
I have been going on as well. It is definitely time.
Yeah.
I got slightly distracted halfway through it because I thought I saw a van reversing in and I thought it was my husband coming home. I was like, oh no, he's going to burst in the door halfway through the meditation.
Right. Okay, lovely. So is there anything anyone else wants to share or say or ask before we end?
No, I think I'm just really chilled out now. Thank you.
Yeah, I feel nice. Thank you.
Yeah, me too. Really relaxed.
Right. Lovely. Well, thank you very much for joining and your sharing. enjoyed that discussion and meditation. So yeah, enjoy the rest of your day. And yeah, what's going on tomorrow? I don't know. I'm too chilled out tomorrow. I'm doing something tomorrow on here. So see what it is, and maybe see you then. So yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Paul.
Thank you, Paul. That was great. Thank you.
Yeah, nice
Thank
to
you,
meet you
Paul.
both.
Yeah,
Nice to meet everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
See you
Bye.
again.
See you.
Bye.
Take care, folks.
Bye.